Rolling anxiety in 3, 2,
Sing it.
1.
Anxiety, keep on trying me. I feel it quietly, trying to silence me. Yeah. Anxiety, shake it over me. Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
They say silence can be powerful, but nobody was ready for this kind of quiet. Picture this: a massive festival crowd, packed shoulder to shoulder, lights flashing, energy buzzing, and then boom, absolute dead silence. No cheers, no screams, just nothing. That is exactly what went down when Doechii stepped on stage at Poland's Open Air Festival to perform her viral hit Anxiety. And the internet is losing its mind over how awkward and unsettling it was.
It's my anxiety.
And mind you, this is Doechii's biggest hit, and she was the most streamed female rapper for a period of time, and it was revealed that it was bots, because nobody is singing this like live, nobody even knows the song. And I feel like this song is called Anxiety, but it really gives me anxiety when I listen to it, and I'm really not hating at this point. And I feel like she kind of ruined the song, because the original song was much better. And she is really the most overrated artist in the industry, and I'm not even exaggerating at this point. She got a Grammy without even being known as an artist. She did sold 11K first week for her album. 11K, this is trash. And I feel like she is an industry plant.
Let's backtrack for a second because the build-up to this moment was huge. Anxiety wasn't just some random single. It was a cult classic in the making. Doechii originally dropped the track all the way back in 2019. Just a rough, raw, bedroom-recorded version using the same haunting beat from Doechii's Somebody That I Used to Know. At first, it wasn't even on streaming platforms, just floating around in the internet underground. But over time, it caught fire. TikTok snatched it up, fans latched on, and soon the demand was loud.
I would have cried, personally.
2,
Sing it.
1.
Anxiety, keep on trying me. I feel it quietly, trying to silence me. Yeah. Anxiety, shake it over me.
Baby, why were they so quiet? They must have thought they were doing the mute challenge or something. Now, this happened at the Open Air Festival in Poland. I'm trying to figure out what the problem was. Like, what did Doechii do to deserve the silent treatment? And you got some people saying that this confirms that she is an industry plant. Because how was this song so popular on TikTok to the point where people were begging her to release it after hearing the teaser over and over again? She promoted Anxiety so hard. There were so many collaborations, so many viral videos. Like, you could not open TikTok without hearing that song. There is no reason why Anxiety couldn't have been her Crazy in Love, but this right here is not giving Crazy in Love. It's giving amateur night at the karaoke bar energy. That being said, I wouldn't call Doechii an industry plant because she's been putting out music for years, but of course, y'all weren't checking for her until she blew up, but she's already had hits. However, some people do speculate though that Doechii used bots to boost the streaming numbers of Anxiety, which could explain why the song hits more online than it does in person, but
By early 2025, fans were practically begging her to release a full version. And she finally delivered. A studio-polished, officially cleared banger that immediately went nuclear. As soon as it dropped in March 2025, it smashed through charts worldwide.
Where she stopped her set to speak up for Palestine, saying, "Y'all can't be scared to stand up for what you believe in, free Palestine." This was one of the first times Doechii dropped a big political message live, but some started debating whether artists should even get political on stage.
Free Palestine, what was you talking about? Y'all can't be scared to stand up for what you believe in. You can't be scared to say what matters. Free Palestine.
It debuted in the top 10 on Billboard, peaking at number 9 in the US and number 4 in the UK, becoming Doechii's biggest hit to date, her first global chart topper. And the numbers don't lie, 60 million plus YouTube views in just a few weeks. TikTok flooded with clips using the sound, Twitter fan pages calling it a generational anthem. Everything pointed to one thing: this track was Doechii's moment. But when she finally performed it live, that moment collapsed. Instead of a roar of excitement, she was met with stone-cold silence. And baby, the internet hasn't stopped talking since. This song wasn't just a hit. It was a soundtrack to millions of people. Emotions. From breakdowns to glow-ups, late-night cries to early morning mirror pep talks, Anxiety became the anthem for a generation trying to hold it together. So when Doechii finally hit that stage at the opener festival, the moment was supposed to be electric. It was her time to own it. But what she got was crickets. And not just silence, stone-cold, camera-ready, head-tilted confusion. She reached the chorus, held that mic out like every artist dreams. You know, that goosebump moment where the crowd screams the lyrics louder than the speakers, but the crowd just stared back like they'd never even heard the song before. And that silence, it was so awkward, so uncomfortable. It felt like a scripted sketch gone wrong. The eye contact between Doechii and the crowd, deadpan. You could literally feel the tension through the screen. And of course, fans had their phones up. The videos hit social media before the last note even faded. Multiple angles, different perspectives, but one shared vibe. Pure secondhand embarrassment. Twitter, TikTok, even Reddit lit up like wildfire. And everybody had something to say. How y'all let her biggest moment turn into this awkward mess? One tweet read. Another said, not the entire crowd ghosting her vocals like that. This was painful to watch. And then came the debates. Some fans tried to defend the moment, saying the silence was emotional reverence, or that the crowd was too stunned to react. Others blamed language barriers or festival fatigue. But then there were the draggers, and they did not hold back. One tweet went viral saying, missed 332 million streams and the audience don't know the chorus. That silence was louder than her stats. Another joked, I think the crowd had anxiety too. Ouch. That one left a mark. Twitter didn't hold back. It went feral. Post after post dragged Doechii and her moment into digital dust. One tweet read, this is exactly why you don't let TikTok pick your singles. One viral sound and now look. Crickets in real life. Another hit harder. If they ain't singing it live, it ain't a hit. It's just background noise for a transition video. The criticism wasn't just about that awkward silence. It turned into a bigger conversation about TikTok culture killing real music. People began questioning if Anxiety was ever a real song at all, or just an algorithmic blip with a catchy hook and no soul. Music used to move people. Now it just trends for 15 seconds and dies, someone posted, and that comment alone racked up thousands of likes. And people weren't forgetting that moment back in 2023 when Doechii asked her fans if she should even release the song. That post, over 9 million likes. TikTok practically demanded she drop it, but now that she did, those same fans vanished when it mattered most. Another tweet said it best. Y'all begged her to release it, and now you're acting brand new. Shameful. But not everyone was there to drag her. Some fans pushed back hard, calling out the double standards. Over on Instagram, the tone shifted. It was a whole different mood. One post said, this isn't TikTok music. It is just real music in a fake world. Another fan wrote, y'all attention spans are cooked. Doechii gave you bars, emotion, a whole vibe, and y'all froze like NPCs. People pointed fingers at the audience, saying the issue wasn't the music, it was the crowd's energy. Why all weren't ready for raw vulnerability from a black woman with alt beats? One comment read, this ain't basic pop. This is layered, complex, and y'all treated it like elevator music. Some fans even admitted they were tired of Anxiety, not because it was bad, but because it got too big. I loved this song when it was just a raw demo on YouTube. Now it's everywhere and somehow feels less special. That doesn't mean it's not still good. It just got diluted by clout. Then came the controversy. Is the song even fully hers? A wave of confusion hit the timeline. People began digging into the beat. Turns out Anxiety samples the exact melody from Doechii's 2011 hit, Somebody That I Used to Know. But that's not even the origin. That song, also a sample, from a 1967 Brazilian guitar piece called Seville by Luiz Bonfá. So now you've got a layered web of music history, copyrights, and blurred originality, and the haters didn't hesitate to weaponize that. The whispers turned into full-blown debates. Is she riding trends or making art? One thing for sure. The silence at open air didn't just raise eyebrows. It cracked open a conversation about virality, authenticity, and what happens when internet fame meets real-world indifference. So technically, Anxiety isn't just a song. It's a layered evolution. Doechii didn't steal anything. She flipped a beat that was already iconic, added her own soul to it, and turned it into something deeply personal. The original track may have felt lo-fi and DIY, but that's what made it real. That 2019 bedroom version hit different because it was raw, before the lawyers, before the rollout, before the billboard plaques. It was pure emotion poured into a mic, no filter. And when she finally got it cleared and dropped the official version, it wasn't a money grab. It was her moment. But now people are looking at that viral silence and asking uncomfortable questions. Was the moment too polished? Too delayed? Or has the crowd simply changed? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. A viral hit with no crowd, echo feels hollow. People are split. Some say the crowd dropped the ball. Others say maybe the song, despite all its TikTok virality, never really crossed into cultural permanence. And in the middle of all this noise, Doechii keeps pushing forward, refusing to be boxed in. But then, things took another turn. At Montreal's Osheaga Festival, just days after the silence controversy, Doechii stopped her performance to speak directly to the crowd, not about herself, but about the world. She said, "Why ya all can to be scared to stand up for what you believe in? Free Palestine." Just like that, the moment went from musical to political, and the internet exploded again. Some praised her for standing in solidarity. Others questioned if artists should bring geopolitics to the stage. Either way, it made waves. And now, between the awkward silence and the bold declaration, Doechii has unintentionally positioned herself at the center of two very different debates: artistic relevance and political responsibility. So what does it all mean? Is Doechii still rising? Or has the spotlight started flickering? That is the thing about this generation is artists. They were not just fighting for chart spots. They were fighting to stay seen in a culture that moves faster than ever and forgets even faster. One viral hit, one flat crowd, one bold statement, and suddenly, your entire narrative is up for debate. But maybe that's the point. Maybe Doechii isn't chasing legacy in the traditional sense. Maybe she's just being real. In the studio, on stage, and in the world. And in an industry full of clones and PR stunts, being real might be the boldest move of all. But now, I want to know what you think. Was the crowd's silence about nerves, disinterest, or something deeper? And what are your thoughts on Doechii stepping into political territory live on stage? Drop your takes in the comments below. No holding back. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss when we drop the truth behind the headlines. This is Anna Zoes signing off. See you in the next deep dive.